Who's the boss? Princess Charlotte.
Royal rules trump family feuds, which puts Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet in a bit of a weird position. Royal rules often seem to take precedence over the bad blood, which will likely affect Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet.
Imagine being born into a family where everything is watched by the whole world. Every move, every smile, every word judged. Now, imagine growing up knowing that one day someone in your family will wear the crown. And not just any crown, the crown of an entire kingdom. Sounds like a dream, right? But what happens when the dream feels unfair? What happens when a little girl named Charlotte is chosen to carry on a royal legacy, and Lilibet, the daughter of Prince Harry, is left out?
Lilibet's childhood has arguably been a lot less dramatic. The little royal has also been snapped by the paparazzi.
This is not just a family story. This is a royal storm. Behind palace walls, emotions are running high. And one voice stands out the most: Prince Harry. Angry, heartbroken, and loud. He's asking the question that's echoing across the world: what about Lilibet? This video isn't just about titles and tiaras. It's about love, jealousy, tradition, and the weight of a crown. It's about two little girls, Charlotte and Lilibet, and how one was chosen while the other was quietly pushed aside. Today, we dive into the full story. Why did the royal family pick Charlotte? What made Harry so furious? And what could this mean for the future of the monarchy? So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's take a closer look at the royal decision that shook the House of Windsor. Because this isn't just news, it's personal. And it might just change everything. The crown's unexpected choice. Why Charlotte? From the outside, it all seems so simple, like a picture-perfect fairy tale. Princess Charlotte, the only daughter of Prince William and Princess Catherine, always looks ready for a storybook.
Princess Charlotte is growing up so fast. The only daughter of Prince William and Kate Middleton beams in a new portrait.
She smiles sweetly at royal events. She waves to the crowd with her tiny hand. She walks proudly next to her older brother, Prince George, and younger brother, Prince Louis. In every photo, she looks just like a real-life little princess. But the truth? It goes much deeper than pretty dresses and perfect posture. Behind the palace doors, serious conversations have been taking place. Not just recently, but over many months, maybe even years. King Charles and his most trusted royal advisors have been meeting privately. They haven't just been discussing today's monarchy. They've been planning their future and deciding who will carry the legacy forward. Prince William is already preparing for his destiny. He will take the throne after his father.
The king's heir is Prince William, who is now first in line of succession.
That's no surprise. But now the royal family needs someone else. Someone young. Someone who will connect with the next generation. Someone who can hold the crown's image together in the years ahead. And when they looked closely, all signs pointed to Charlotte. Why? Because she's more than just polite and pretty. She's sharp. She's quick to learn. She never loses her calm during official outings. Whether she's standing still during long royal ceremonies or gently correcting her brothers in public.
Princess Charlotte keeps her brother, Prince George, in line. Charlotte nudged her big bro's arm, seemingly telling him to fix his posture.
She always keeps her cool. For someone so young, that's rare. And that's exactly what the palace looks for in a future leader. But there's something else, something even more important to the royals than charm or confidence. It's bloodline. Charlotte is a direct heir to the British throne. Her father is the eldest son of King Charles. That makes her third in line, right after Prince George. She was born into the heart of the monarchy, raised inside its walls, trained by its rules, and surrounded by its traditions every single day. From the moment she could walk, Charlotte has been learning how to be royal, not just in front of the cameras, but behind the scenes too. She attends events, practices proper manners, and even stands with confidence during formal state occasions. Every step she takes is shaping her into the future face of the royal family. That's why, when the time came for King Charles and his team to quietly choose a young royal to focus on, Charlotte stood out. She checked all the boxes: publicly loved, well-behaved, naturally graceful, and most of all, perfectly placed in the royal line. So, when the decision was made, when Charlotte was gently picked to be guided, trained, and polished for the future, the palace didn't make a big announcement. There was no loud ceremony, no official statement, just small signs, quiet shifts, special attention, carefully planned appearances, all hinting that Princess Charlotte had been chosen to carry the royal torch forward. But while many people nodded in agreement, there was one voice that was left shocked. One father who didn't understand. One prince who felt something else: pain. Prince Harry. To him, this choice wasn't just about tradition. It was personal. It felt like a punch to the heart. Because while everyone was celebrating Charlotte, nobody mentioned Lilibet. Harry's daughter, his little girl, was completely left out of the picture. There was no talk of her place in the family, no plan to include her in royal duties, not even a simple sign of recognition. And for Harry, that felt cruel. Like his branch of the family no longer mattered, like his daughter didn't exist. It reminded him of all the times he and Meghan had felt ignored, all the times their voices weren't heard. Now, it wasn't just happening to them, it was happening to their child. He reportedly asked in frustration, "What about Lilibet?" A question full of love, but also full of anger. Because no matter how far Harry had gone from the palace, his heart was still tied to it. And now, so was Lilibet's. But only one little girl was chosen, and the other was quietly left in the background. Harry's pain, a father, left in the shadows. When Prince Harry first heard the news, he didn't get angry right away. He didn't shout. He didn't slam any doors. But something inside him broke, because this wasn't just any announcement. It wasn't just another royal headline. It was something that cut deep. The palace had chosen Charlotte. She would be the young royal to represent the future. She would walk the path once taken by Queen Elizabeth.
Prince William's second child and only daughter, Princess Charlotte of Wales, is the spitting image of her great-grandmother.
And Harry? He was left out of it. Again. But this time it wasn't just about him. It was about his little girl, Lilibet. When he first held Lilibet in his arms, Harry felt a love he never imagined. She was tiny, soft, and peaceful, and yet she carried the names of two of the most powerful women in his life. Queen Elizabeth, his beloved grandmother, and Princess Diana, the mother he lost too soon. He named her Lilibet Diana as a tribute, a promise, and a symbol of connection. Even though he had moved far away from the palace, from the rules, from the press, he still believed Lilibet belonged, not to the crown, but to the family. Harry had stepped away from royal life for a reason.
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle have stepped back from the royal life, from their royal duties. They want to become financially independent.
He wanted to protect his wife, Meghan, from the cruel headlines, the toxic pressure, and the endless judgment. He wanted Archie and Lilibet to grow up free, running in gardens, riding bikes, and going to regular schools. He didn't want them trapped in gold cages. But even in California, even surrounded by sunshine and love, a part of him still hoped that one day his children would be respected, that the royal family would still remember them, honor them, love them. So when the palace quietly decided on Charlotte, when they chose her to carry the royal image into the future, without even a mention of Lilibet, it hit Harry like a cold wave. He was crushed. He reportedly said in frustration, "What about Lilibet?" It wasn't a demand. It wasn't a challenge for the throne. It was a question from a father who just wanted his daughter to be seen, not as a royal, but as family. Lilibet wasn't asking to wear a crown. She wasn't asking to be queen. She's just a little girl giggling in her pajamas, playing with her toys, unaware of the titles she was born into. But Harry knew what that silence from the palace meant. He could feel the divide. In his heart, he saw it. A line being drawn. One side had the chosen ones, the true royals, the ones who stayed, the ones who followed every rule. The other side? That's where his family was placed. The outsiders, the forgotten. It brought back old feelings. The pain of growing up in the shadow of his older brother. The hurt of watching his mother cry alone. The shame of being called the spare. Now, he feared history was repeating itself. But this time, it wasn't happening to him. It was happening to his daughter, and that's what hurts the most, no matter how far he's traveled. No matter how loud he speaks, no matter how many interviews he gives or books he writes. The royal wall hasn't moved. It still stands tall, and now it's keeping Lilibet on the outside. Harry's pain is not just about rejection. It's about a family that still can't see the damage being done. It's about a little girl who might grow up wondering why she was never included, why her cousin was chosen and she wasn't. It's a quiet pain, the kind that stays with you even in the happiest places. And now that pain isn't just his to carry, it's Lilibet's too. And for a father who left everything behind to protect his children, that pain is the hardest of all. Meghan's silence, a mother's quiet struggle. While Prince Harry's pain echoed loudly, Meghan's pain moved in silence, soft, deep, and heavy. There were no interviews, no public statements, no social media posts filled with hints or sadness. But those who truly know Meghan, they saw it in her eyes. They said she was quiet for days, not because she didn't care, but because she cared too much. For Meghan, this moment brought back many old memories she had tried to let go of. She had faced so much during her time in the royal family. Whispers behind her back, headlines that twisted her words, smiles in public but as cold in private. She had lived through it all, the pain of being an outsider-in-law. Still, she stayed strong. She kept walking. She tried to build bridges. She smiled for the cameras and tried to be the best version of herself. But again and again, she was made to feel like she didn't belong. Now, years later, it's not her facing it anymore. It's her daughter. Imagine being a mother, watching from afar as your child is ignored by the very family you once tried to be part of. Imagine holding your baby girl in your arms and knowing she may never be seen the way others are. That's the weight Meghan was carrying. She watched as Charlotte was praised across the world, celebrated, trained, and chosen. And yet, not a word was said about Lilibet. Not a mention. Not even a gentle gesture of inclusion. It wasn't about jealousy. It wasn't about status. It was about love. It was about a mother's simple hope that all children would be treated with kindness, with equal respect, no matter where they live or what titles they hold. Meghan had once dreamed that time would heal old wounds, that her kids might one day play in the gardens of Buckingham Palace, that Archie and Lilibet would laugh and grow with their royal cousins. Perhaps the family that once hurt her would open its arms to the next generation. But that dream, it now feels distant, blurred, almost broken. Some people close to Meghan say she cried when she heard the news. Not tears of anger, but of deep sadness. She didn't cry for herself. She cried for the child who didn't yet understand what was happening, for the little girl who had done nothing wrong, for the baby named after a queen and a princess, yet treated like she didn't matter.
Harry and Meghan shared the baby's name, an homage to two powerful women in the royal family, his mother, the late Princess Diana, and his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth.
As a mother, Meghan wants the same things all mothers want: safety, peace, fairness, a future where her children feel valued. But after everything she went through, the silence, the headlines, the pain, this moment felt like history repeating itself. Only this time, it was happening to Lilibet. And that's why Meghan chooses silence. Because sometimes, silence is more powerful than words. Sometimes staying quiet shows more strength than speaking out. Meghan could have written a post. She could have done an interview. She could have fought back. But she didn't. She stayed still. She held her daughter close. She talked to Harry, cried in private, and tried to shield her family from more hurt. Because in her heart, she knew. The world is already watching, and someday, her daughter will grow up and see it all for herself. Maybe then, Lilibet will understand her mother's silence, not as weakness, but as love. Meghan didn't need to shout. She didn't need to fight. Her silence said everything. It said she was hurting. It said she was tired. And most of all, it said she was a mother trying to protect her child from a royal world that still hadn't changed. The crown's tradition versus today's world. The royal family is known for many things: grand palaces, beautiful crowns, and shining carriages. But above all, they're known for their traditions. For centuries, the rules have stayed the same, and those rules are simple: boys come before girls. Bloodlines matter more than emotions. Silence is stronger than speaking out. This system was made long ago, in a time when kings ruled by sword and queens were seen but not heard. It worked in the past. But what about today? Because today's world is very different. We now talk about equality, fairness, and love. We teach our kids that every voice matters. We tell girls they can be anything, even queens. So when news came out that Princess Charlotte had been chosen to carry the royal legacy forward, many people were confused. Not because Charlotte didn't deserve it. She's kind, bright, and full of promise. She's a beautiful young royal who carries herself with pride. But the question was, why Charlotte but not Lilibet? Both girls are royal by blood. Both are granddaughters of kings and queens. Both were born into the same golden family tree. And most of all, both are just little girls. They play, they laugh, they dream. They don't know the weight of crowns or the coldness of royal rules. So why is one lifted and the other left out? Some royal experts say it's just tradition. Charlotte lives in the UK. She's part of the main line. She attends royal events, wears royal outfits, and follows royal protocol. They say this makes her more fit to represent the crown. But is that enough? Many people, including royal fans around the world, are now speaking out. They're asking hard questions. They're saying, wait a minute, isn't it time to change the rules? Shouldn't all royal children be treated equally? Shouldn't where you live or what line you were born into stop mattering in a world that's supposed to be modern and fair? After all, what message does this send to the next generation? That some children matter more? Does that tradition matters more than love? People are no longer afraid to ask these things, because this is no longer just about Charlotte or Lilibet. It's about all children. It's about the kind of royal family people want to support. Do they want a family that's stuck in the past, where old rules decide everything, no matter who gets hurt? Or do they want a royal family that grows with the times, one that listens, changes, and treats every child with equal care? The crown, as powerful as it is, doesn't shine without the support of the people. And right now, the people are watching. They're watching how decisions are made. They're watching how little Lilibet is treated. They're watching to see if the monarchy truly understands the world outside its gates. This moment is more than just about picking a royal role. It's about setting a tone for the future, a tone that says, we see all our children. We value every name, not just the ones born in palaces. We believe in fairness even inside the royal walls, because if the royal family wants to stay loved, respected, and relevant, they must show the world that the crown is not just made of gold, it must also be made of grace. Two little girls, one big divide. Charlotte and Lilibet, two little girls born into the same powerful family, sharing the same royal blood, and yet they live in completely different worlds. From the outside, they're just cousins. Two daughters of two royal brothers, two innocent hearts with golden names. But when you look closer, you see the divide. A divide so deep, it reaches to the throne. Let's start with Charlotte. born into the heart of the British monarchy,
A baby princess is welcomed into the world. The Duchess of Cambridge looked radiant.
she's a princess in every sense of the word. She lives inside palace walls, surrounded by royal staff, nannies, and history. She attends elite private schools where her classmates are children of lords, ladies, and leaders. She walks beside her father, the future king. She waves to crowds, curtsies to the queen, and wears perfectly tailored coats and little hats. Every step she takes is watched. Every smile she gives is celebrated. She's being groomed for leadership, raised with royal tradition, and given the keys to a future that's already being written for her. Now look at Lilibet. She's a princess too, by blood, by name, by right. But her life is something else entirely. She lives in quiet California, thousands of miles away from the royal spotlight. She plays in her backyard instead of royal gardens. She eats pancakes with her family instead of attending state banquets. She's rarely seen in public, no waving from balconies, no flashing cameras, no royal titles pinned to her daily life. Her parents, Prince Harry and Meghan, have chosen to protect her. They've shielded her from the pain they once felt. They want her to grow up free from rules, from pressure, and the judgmental glare of the world. And yet, both girls carry royal blood. They both come from Queen Elizabeth's line. They both have the names of history wrapped around them. They both represent the future, not just of a family, but of a nation. But only one has been chosen to move forward with the crown, and that's where the heartbreak begins. People ask why Charlotte, but not Lilibet? Why one and not the other? Some whisper it's politics. Others suggest it's favoritism. Some believe it's punishment, a quiet, royal message sent to Harry and Meghan for stepping away. But whatever the reason, the outcome is clear. Two cousins, two girls, one given the spotlight, the other was left in the shadows. This isn't just a family difference, it's something much bigger. It's a line drawn between sisters of the future. A silent wall was built between two worlds, one of ancient tradition and one of bold independence. It's a divide that now stretches far beyond Charlotte and Lilibet. It touches the hearts of their parents. It creates distance between two brothers who were once so close. It reflects the growing gap between Britain and America, between old royal ways and new world dreams. And it raises a difficult question. Is this what the monarchy stands for? Are we still in a time where proximity to the crown decides your worth, where the place you live or the choices your parents made determine whether you get to shine? Because in the eyes of many, especially the young, this doesn't feel fair, it doesn't feel right, and it certainly doesn't feel modern. Charlotte and Lilibet should be bridges, not symbols of division. They should represent unity, not silence. Hope, not hierarchy. But today, they stand apart. Not by their own doing, not because of who they are, but because of what the crown has chosen to do, and until that changes, this divide will remain. Not just between two little girls, but between everything the royal family used to be and everything it still has the chance to become. So now we ask ourselves, what does this mean? This story isn't just about Princess Charlotte being chosen. It's about what happens when love and loyalty clash with power and politics. Harry's pain is real. He's not fighting for a throne. He's fighting for his daughter's place in her own family's story. Meghan's silence speaks louder than any headline. She's a mother who just wants her children to feel equal, to feel seen, to feel like they belong. And Lilibet, sweet, innocent. Lilibet doesn't even know what's happening. But one day, she will. One day, she'll read the headlines. She'll hear the interviews. She'll learn that her cousin Charlotte was chosen for something big, and she wasn't. What will she feel then? Hurt, confused, stronger? Only time will tell. But maybe, just maybe, this is the moment the world starts asking the hard questions. Why are some children treated like royalty, while others are treated like secrets? Maybe this is the moment the royal family looks at itself and decides to change. Not just for Charlotte, not just for Lilibet, but for the future, because the crown should never divide. It should unite. And if it can't do that for two little girls who share the same blood, then maybe it's time we all ask, what is a crown worth if it forgets the ones who matter most?